Ladies and gentlemen, there is a moment in life when someone you trusted, someone you gave your heart to, does the unthinkable. They hurt you. Maybe they betrayed you. Maybe they lied. Maybe they walked away without a second thought. And now you're left wondering, what do I do? How do I respond? Pain is a strange thing. It can either break you or build you, but the choice is yours. When someone hurts you, the natural response is to recoil in pain, to question everything, your worth, your decisions, and even your future. But what if that very pain was never meant to destroy you? What if it was designed to shape you into something greater? In life, we are often tested in ways we don't expect. Heartbreak, betrayal, disappointment, these are not just unfortunate events, they are opportunities. In the Bible, we are said that what was meant for harm, God can turn for good. This means that even when someone wounds you deeply, there is a higher plan at work. The pain they inflicted may feel unbearable, but it is not wasted. It can be used as a foundation for your greatest transformation. Think of a seed buried in the dirt. In that moment, it seems lost, forgotten, surrounded by darkness. But beneath the surface, something is happening. The pressure, the isolation, the seeming abandonment, none of it is the end. It is only the beginning of growth. The same is true for you. The pain you experience is not a burial, it is a planting. And just like a seed eventually breaks through the ground and reaches toward the light, you too will rise. Many people allow pain to define them. They carry it like a burden, allowing it to shape their identity. But the truth is, pain is not meant to make you weaker. It is meant to make you wiser. In the Bible, we are said that suffering produces perseverance, and perseverance builds character. If you let it, pain will teach you lessons no comfort ever could. It will refine your vision, sharpen your discernment, and make you more intentional about who you allow into your life. One of the most powerful things you can do when someone hurts you is to refuse to be defeated by it. The person who caused your pain does not have the final say over your life. They may have wounded you, but they do not get to define you. Every trial, every heartbreak, every betrayal is a stepping stone to something greater. If you hold on, if you keep moving forward, you will see that the very thing that tried to break you was actually the thing that built you. This is why the enemy wants you to focus on your hurt, because he knows that if you ever discover the power hidden within your pain, you will become unstoppable. The tears you shed today will water the harvest of your tomorrow. The heartbreak you endure now will become the wisdom that protects you later. And the rejection you faced will be the redirection that leads you straight into your destiny. Emotional control is one of the greatest strengths a person can have. When someone hurts you, the first instinct is to react, to lash out, to demand answers, to make them feel the pain they caused you. But reacting in emotion often leads to regret. It gives the other person power over you, allowing them to dictate your mood, your peace, and even your future. True strength is found not in how loudly you respond, but in how wisely you choose to handle the situation. In the Bible, we are said that a person who controls their emotions is stronger than one who takes a city. This means that mastering your response to pain is not a sign of weakness, but of incredible power. The enemy wants you to be consumed by your emotions because when you are led by feelings, you are easily manipulated. But when you are led by wisdom, you cannot be shaken. When someone betrays you or causes you harm, they expect a reaction. They expect anger, tears, or even retaliation. When you respond with grace instead of rage, you take back control. Emotional control is not about suppressing your feelings or pretending you are not hurt. It is about directing your emotions in a way that benefits you instead of destroying you. Pain can either be a tool for growth or a weapon of self-destruction. The difference lies in how you handle it. When you choose not to act out of frustration, but instead take time to process, reflect, and seek wisdom, you rise above the situation. This kind of discipline confuses the one who hurt you because they realize they no longer have access to your peace. There is wisdom in silence. The world teaches that power comes from making a statement, from proving a point, from having the last word. But real power is found in knowing that you do not need to prove anything. In the Bible, we are said that even Jesus remained silent when accused because he knew his purpose was greater than the moment. Not every battle requires your participation. Not every offense requires a response. When you learn to walk away with dignity Rather than engage in meaningless battles, you gain a strength that is unshakable. The goal is not to become emotionless, but to be unmovable. Pain will come, people will hurt you, but when you master the ability to respond with wisdom instead of impulse, you place yourself in a position of victory. You become untouchable in a world that thrives on emotional reactions. Your peace becomes your greatest weapon, and your self-control becomes your greatest defense. No one can break you when you decide that your emotions will no longer be dictated by outside forces. When you reach that point, you don't just survive the pain, you rise above it, stronger and wiser than before. Indifference is more powerful than anger. When someone hurts you, the reaction they expect is pain, outrage, or even desperate attempts to make them understand what they did wrong. They expect you to cry, to call, to seek closure, to fight for what was lost. But nothing unsettles a person more than realizing they no longer have access to your emotion. When you show indifference, you take away their power. The one who once controlled your mood, your thoughts, and even your peace suddenly finds themselves confused because the reaction they anticipated never comes. In the Bible, we are said that a fool gives full vent to their anger, but a wise person quietly holds it back. Wisdom does not mean suppressing your feelings, but understanding that not every situation deserves your energy. When you react in anger, you show that the person who hurt you still holds influence over you. When you respond with indifference, they begin to question their own importance in your life. This is why many people, after walking away from someone, still try to provoke a reaction. They post things to get your attention. They reach out just to see if you will respond, or they try to create drama to keep the connection alive. But when they are met with silence, when they realize they no longer affect you, it leaves them in a place of confusion. There is something powerful about being unbothered. The enemy knows that if he can keep you emotionally attached to your pain, he can keep you from moving forward. But when you learn to let go, to stop checking their social media, to stop replaying conversations in your mind, to stop seeking closure from a door God already closed, you step into freedom. In the Bible, we are said that God will fight for you while you remain silent. This means that sometimes the best response is no response at all. When you let go and trust that justice does not have to come from your hands, you release yourself from the cycle of pain. People who hurt you will always wonder if they still have a place in your life. They will test the waters to see if they can still get a reaction. But when you refuse to engage, when you show them that you are more focused on your future than your past, they realize too late that they have lost something valuable. The greatest revenge is not anger, not confrontation, but living so well that their absence means nothing to you. When you become indifferent to those who once had the power to break you, you show them that their influence is gone. And when they finally understand that your world no longer revolves around them, they are left in the one place they never expected to be, irrelevant. Let actions speak louder than words. When someone hurts you, the natural instinct is to explain, to justify, to make them understand how deeply they wounded you. You may feel the urge to prove your worth, to remind them of what they lost, to plead for an explanation, but words often fall on deaf ears. A person who chooses to hurt you has already made a decision, whether intentionally or through neglect. Trying to convince them of your value only lowers your own. The most powerful response is not a long conversation, not a detailed message, not an emotional plea, but action. In the Bible, we are said that faith without works is dead, meaning that real transformation is demonstrated, not just spoken about. The way you carry yourself after being hurt speaks volumes about your strength. If you continue to dwell on the pain, replay the past, and seek validation from the one who broke you, you give them control. But when you shift your focus to growth, healing, and purpose, you silently send a message more powerful than words ever could. Those who hurt you expect you to stay stuck, to be bitter, to hold on to resentment. When they see you moving forward, thriving despite what happened, they begin to question their own actions. Healing is not about showing them what they lost. It is about realizing what you gained. Every setback is an opportunity for growth. In the Bible, we are said that suffering produces perseverance, and perseverance builds character. When you allow your pain to shape you into a wiser, stronger version of yourself, you turn a moment of loss into a season of transformation. This is why silence can be so powerful. You do not have to announce your healing. You do not have to prove that you are better off. Just by living in your purpose, by finding joy outside of that relationship, by building a life that reflects your true worth, you send the strongest message possible without ever saying a word. People will always remember how they left you. If they expected you to crumble and you rise instead, that becomes their burden to carry, not yours. When they see that their absence did not destroy you, but rather pushed you into a greater season of life, it forces them to reflect in ways they never expected. Some will regret, some will try to come back, and some will watch from a distance, confused by how the person they underestimated is now thriving without them. But by then, it won't even matter. Because when you let your action speak for you, you realize that the person you needed to prove something to was never them, it was yourself. And once you see how strong you truly are, nothing from your past will ever have the power to hold you back again. Rejection is a redirection. When someone walks away from your life, it can feel like a loss, like something was taken from you that you were not ready to let go of. The pain of rejection is real, and it can shake your confidence, leaving you questioning your worth. But what if the very thing that broke you was actually guiding you towards something better? What if rejection was never meant to destroy you, but to reposition you for something greater? In the Bible, we are said that all things work together for the good of those who love God. This means that even when people leave, when doors close, when you feel abandoned or overlooked, there is a divine purpose at work. Sometimes the people you wanted to stay were never meant to go where God is taking you. Their presence may have been a part of your journey, but not your destination. Holding on to someone who was meant to leave only delays the blessings that were supposed to come next. It is easy to think that if someone rejects you, it means you were not good enough. But rejection does not define your value. It only reveals who is incapable of seeing it. In the Bible, we are said that Jesus himself was rejected, despised by many, and yet his purpose was never diminished by the opinions of others. If the Son of God could experience rejection and still walk in his divine calling, then what someone else fails to recognize in you should never make you question who you are. Pain often clouds our vision, making us believe that what we lost was the best thing for us. But God sees beyond what we see. There are times when he allows rejection to happen because he knows what is ahead. That relationship that ended, it may have been blocking the right one. That person who left, they may have been standing in the way of your purpose. In the Bible, we are said that when one thing passes away, something new is ready to come forth. The problem is, many people mourn the closed door so long that they fail to notice the new one opening right in front of them. When rejection happens, the best response is not to chase after what left, but to trust that something better is coming. You do not have to prove your worth to someone who walked away. You do not have to beg for a seat at a table where you were never truly valued. If someone can leave your life, it means their role in your story has ended. The greatest peace comes when you stop asking why they left and start believing that God has something greater ahead. When you see rejection as redirection, you stop seeing it as a loss and start embracing it as a step toward the life you were always meant to live. God sees and defends. When someone wrongs you, betrays you, or walks away without a second thought, the natural instinct is to seek justice, to make them feel the weight of what they did. You may want them to acknowledge the pain they caused, to regret their actions, to experience the same kind of hurt. But true justice does not come from human hands. It comes from God. There is nothing that happens in your life that he does not see, and there is no wound he cannot heal. In the Bible, we are said that vengeance belongs to the Lord, and he will repay. This means that no wrongdoing goes unnoticed, no betrayal is forgotten, and no pain is ignored. The battle you are tempted to fight with your own strength is one that God has already taken into his hands. When you try to handle it yourself, through arguments, retaliation, or proving a point, you step out of position. But when you release the situation to God, you invite divine justice, which is far greater than anything you could accomplish on your own. Pain often makes us impatient. When we are hurt, We want immediate resolution. We want to see consequences unfold for the person who caused harm to feel the weight of their actions. But God operates on his own timing, and his justice is perfect. In the Bible, we are said that he is a righteous judge who sees all things. Just because you do not see the effects of his justice immediately does not mean he is not working. The one who wronged you may continue living as if nothing happened, but rest assured that God sees everything. What is done in darkness will always be brought to light, and no one escapes the consequences of their actions forever. There is freedom in surrender. When you truly trust that God is handling your battles, you can walk in peace instead of carrying the burden of bitterness. Bitterness does not punish the person who hurt you. It only holds you captive. But when you release it, when you let go of the need to make them understand, you free yourself from the weight of the past. In the Bible, we are said that God is close to the brokenhearted and saves those who are crushed in spirit. This means that while you focus on healing, he is taking care of the rest. Some people will never apologize. Some will never acknowledge what they did. But their lack of remorse does not mean justice will not come. It only means that God is handling it in a way you cannot yet see. When you choose to walk away from the need for revenge, you step into the kind of peace that cannot be shaken. God fights for his children. He defends, restores, and repays in ways that far exceed anything human hands could ever accomplish. All you have to do is trust that his justice is always right on time. Your worth is not determined by someone's inability to see it. When a person mistreats you, ignores your value, or walks away as if you never mattered, it is easy to internalize their actions as a reflection of who you are. But their failure to appreciate you does not mean you are not worthy of love, respect, or honor. Some people are simply blind to what is precious. A diamond does not lose its value just because someone fails to recognize it. The right person with the right vision will see its worth immediately. In the Bible, we are said that we are fearfully and wonderfully made, created with divine purpose. This means that no rejection, no betrayal, and no dismissal from another human being can take away what God has already placed inside you. Your worth is not up for debate, nor is it dependent on how someone else chooses to treat you. When a person walks away from you, it does not mean you were not enough. It simply means they were not capable of handling the blessing that you are. Some people cannot recognize a gift when it is in their hands, but that does not change the value of the gift itself. Pain often distorts perception. It can make you believe that because someone did not choose you, you are unworthy of being chosen. Because someone did not love you the way you deserved, you are unlovable. Because someone took you for granted, you are replaceable. These are lies the enemy whispers in moments of hurt, hoping you will forget who you truly are. In the Bible, we are said that God's plans for us are good, to give us a hope and a future. This means that your future is not tied to the one who left. The person who could not see your worth does not have the power to dictate your destiny. The greatest mistake you can make after being hurt is allowing that experience to define you. People will treat you based on their own limitations, their own brokenness, and their own inability to love properly. Their actions say more about them than they do about you. If someone mistreated you, it is not because you were not enough. It is because they were not equipped to handle what you bring. When you understand this, you stop begging for clarity, for closure, or for an explanation. You no longer need validation from someone who could not even see your value in the first place. In the Bible, we are said that God will restore the years that were lost. This means that nothing you have given in love, kindness, or sincerity was ever wasted. What one person took for granted, God will ensure the right person cherishes. What one person overlooked, God will place before someone who sees it as a blessing. Your worth was never in their hands to define, and once you realize that, no rejection will ever have the power to shake your confidence again.